Hey, welcome to On the Path podcast with Cheryl Nembhard. Since I was a kid, I was told my conversations were way too deep. Well, now it's paying off. Join me and the names you know as we go deep into their personal stories of triumph, tragedy, and the lessons they've learned along the way. Friends, this crazy, overwhelming life we live calls for some serious encouragement and inspiration. So grab a cup of coffee and get your notebook, because we're going into the classroom of life. So let's get lifted with faith-filled conversations. I'll see you on the path.
Watch in Canada on Yes TV and the Yes TV app, or watch on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Pioneer Network, Faith TV, and more in the US. Also watch and subscribe on our YouTube channel.
Such a joy to have you guys with us. My goodness, I can't even imagine the buzz. There's so much excitement around the Unbreakable Boy. I want to ask you, Zachary, this question. You play the role of Scott, the father, and it's such a touching role. You navigate the challenges with, grace. You're definitely holding this space of unconditional love through all of the hardships. And I'd love to know what part of that character felt personal for you, felt like a little bit of Zachary.
I mean, honestly, a lot of the character felt very personal for me. I am not a father yet. I'm actually about to be. I'm about to have my first child the beginning of April. I know. I'm very, very excited about it. But I've always, in my DNA, I've always felt like I was supposed to be a father. And so I've always kind of just kind of had those instincts in me. And I've been an uncle for many years now. And so aside from that, so much of Scott just spoke to me. Coming up throughout my life, having trying to balance the expectations, right? Like we all have these ideas of what our life is supposed to look like, how it's supposed to go. And in the film, which is, based on the true story of their lives, Scott has this, idea of, I think my life is supposed to be this. And then he's thrown all of these curveballs. He, gets pregnant out of nowhere with Teresa, and that certainly wasn't planned. And then they have these two beautiful children, but one of them in Austin dealing with, some very specific struggles with osteogenesis imperfecta and then autism. And these are not things that Scott was anticipating at all. And so really his whole journey is one of wrestling with God, wrestling with the ideal life that he thought he was supposed to be living versus the life that he was given. And that's something I can relate to a lot. I can relate to having these ideas, these expectations of what I thought my life was supposed to be at any given moment. And when it's not happening, really, dealing with a lot of anxiety and stress and anger over those moments, and even finding myself self-medicating through a lot of those moments like Scott does. And then, having God wrestle me to the ground and show me that there is a lot more to this life than just what I think it's supposed to be, and the blessings in disguise that God gives us in order for us to grow and learn and change and evolve into the better version of ourselves. And I think that that's one of the most beautiful things about this film is Scott resisting this version of his son, thinking that somehow this is a mistake, this is not what it's supposed to be, and then finally coming to his knees, seeing where he is missing that mark, and being reminded through the unwavering love and optimism and intense presence that Austin shows him in his life and in his journey, that helps him to be a better man, helps him to be a better father. All of that stuff resonated with me so hugely. And quite honestly, I think these are all elements that will resonate with the audience, because these are all things on one level or another that we as human beings struggle with, right? We have these anticipations, these expectations. This is what I think my life is supposed to be. We make plans and God laughs, right? And so that's all a part of what drew me to this project and what I was pouring so much of myself into.
I love that. Thank you for that. And to you, Jacob, you play Austin, who I am calling a poster child of resilience and joy. In the midst of the hardest of situations, I just wonder, what's your hope? What do you want the audience to come away with having journeyed with Austin?
I definitely agree with what you said, and that's really what I hope the audience takes away with them, because there are a lot of struggles that people go through. That's why I find the movie to be so relatable, because I think everyone can relate to at least some of the struggles on at least some level. And so I hope that people take Austin's ideas of positivity and resilience along with them. Mm-hmm. I really hope that the audience can find that in them.
Mm-hmm. We know they will. You were brilliant in the film. Well, I got a couple seconds left, so this is going to be fun. We're going to do a little speed round, guys. I want you to answer at the same time. Let's see if the answers line up, shall we? Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Cake or pie?
Pie.
Cake.
Oh. And the war begins. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Neither.
Neither.
He's a kid. He shouldn't be having.
Yeah, I know. That's. I realize that. Okay. Ooh, Nike or Adidas?
Adidas.
Nike, I guess. Both are good, though.
I love it. Superhero films or comedy?
Comedy.
Yeah.
Hey.
But a funny superhero movie.
Movie.
Like Shazam.
I love it. Jacob, one last one for you. And then Zachary, I've got one last one for you. We're going to do an Avengers one. Here we go. Spider-Man, Thor, or Iron Man?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Oh, okay. And for you, Zachary, because this one's going to start.
Sorry.
Okay.
That's okay. I love that you weighed in. Last one, Zachary, for you. This is going to start wars. Here we go. Robert De Niro or Al Pacino?
De Niro.
De Niro. Love it. Thank you guys for your time. I'm so excited to see this film. You guys were awesome.
Thank you. You're
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Emmy Award-winning Patricia Heaton in the building. It is so lovely to have you. You are a powerhouse. I just love you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I love your character playing Scott's mom in The Unbreakable Boy. You bring such wisdom and emotional grounding to this heartfelt story. And I live for strong matriarchal figures. Let's go. And so I would love, talk to me about the value of strong women in film, in Hollywood, in society. I would love to hear your thoughts.
Well, I was really fortunate when I first came out to Los Angeles to have as my first role on TV was playing the daughter of the late, great Linda Lavin, who recently passed away. And Linda totally took me under her wing. She was so kind. She was so generous. I learned so much from her, not just as an actress, but how to be number one on the call sheet, how to be a producer, how you give notes, even how to buy a fabulous house in Malibu and decorate it. It's almost like I remember going out to her house, and she was like, we got this slice of a redwood tree, and we turned it into a dining room, and I got this crystal in Paris when I was on a trip. And to me, a struggling girl from Ohio who starved for 9 years in New York in a sublet with an old futon as a, bed, to see that and to say, and to almost like have permission to dream that. And I'm not just talking about the material things, but just having an expansive life and being able to take people under your wing. And she was such a great mentor. And then I had the great Doris Roberts, same thing. I had, these gals who'd been in show business for a really long time. Katherine Hellman played my mother on Everybody Loves Raymond. And then Marcia Mason played my mom in The Middle. These are all, I get chills right now talking about them. Incredible women who've been through a lot, great sense of humor, grateful for their careers, a lot of class. Katherine Hellman came to work every day just completely decked out, beautiful clothes, silk blouse, hair and makeup done, jewelry, earring. These were just class broads. And I say broads because they had a real grit to them because they were working hard and they never took anything for granted and they were supporting their families. And so it's just been, I feel like I am now in my 60s graduating into that role for younger actresses. And I love to be able to be that for anybody who wants that. And it's gratifying to kind of put your arm around somebody and let them know things are going to be okay, and give them a little advice about this and that and how to stand up for yourself, you know? And not to be afraid to, for instance, have your family. I found that when I had children, it turned me into a fiercer person because I was now fighting for them and not for myself. You know, it's often when you are advocating for yourself, especially as an actor, you're just so grateful to be working and you love to work that you would do it for free if the role was right. And that's okay. But when the children come along and you're like, okay, you need to pay me, and you need to pay me this much because this person, this little human, is counting on me. It takes on this other aspect where you know what you need and you ask for it. So motherhood is really a wonderful way of, just first of all, to be able to grow a human being inside of you is sort of shocking and incredible. Right. But it also helps you. There's a chamber in your heart that can only be unlocked by having children, whether you've adopted a child or you birthed a child. That just expands you. It gives you more responsibility, but you're able to bring more to your roles because you now are experiencing the world in a different emotional way. So all those things are wonderful ways in which women have an advantage in this world because we have all those things, and we often have each other. You know, we're really the women in my life, the actresses I've worked with, have always had my back.
Well, Patricia, thanks to you, you are leaving a brilliant, bright legacy behind you. And this film is just an addition to a long career of incredible, incredible projects. I got a speed round for you. I know my time is up. I
talked through your entire...
No, love to hang and kiki with you, but I know my time is up. So let's go to a speed round. This is going to be fun. Are you ready? Wars may be started.
Okay.
Here we go. Cake or pie?
Oh, cake.
Oh, hands down. Tea or coffee?
Coffee. Lots of coffee.
Okay. Let's go to the Lux line. Hermes or Louis?
Well, you got me there. I'm just Hermes for scarves because the bags are too expensive, and Louis for I like actually Hermes.
Love it. Are you a romance or comedy person?
Comedy.
Yes. And lastly, this one is, I have been dying to ask you this. Breakfast at Tiffany's, or we're talking about classics, Singing in the Rain.
Okay, I'm going to throw a wrench in the works. On the Waterfront.
That's your
Have you seen it?
Yes.
It's the greatest movie ever made. Best acting, best directing, best script, best music. On the Waterfront. I'm going to have all your listeners, please go see On the Waterfront.
Well, speaking of the best, you are one of the best. Patricia, thank you for your time today.
Thanks for having me.
I will remember it forever.
Fantastic. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you for listening to On the Path podcast with Cheryl Nembhard. Please like, download, and subscribe. This has been an Exousia Media production.